Tiana Corin, 5th best in the preliminary round. Salopeta of Hungary, 4th best. Medina Kapasova of Kazakhstan, 8th best in qualification and a senior international debutant. Sasha Kiselev of Slovenia, 6th best in qualifying. Madeline Marshall of New Zealand, 7th best in qualifying. Greta Meyer of Hungary, 2nd best in qualifying. Slovenia's Teja Belak, the 3rd best in qualification. And Oksana Chusovitina of Uzbekistan, the top performer in qualifying. As is customary, we'll have the warm-ups of the first 4. So far in the FIG World Cup Series, we've had the Cottbus podium, seeing Teja Belak take the gold medal, Sasha Kiselev winning silver, and Oksana Chusovitina securing bronze. We had exactly the same group of gymnasts on the podium in Baku in a different order: Chusovitina, Belak and Kiselev. You're watching World Cup action in the sport of artistic gymnastics from the Aspire Dome. The Aspire Dome is the home of the Aspire Academy, which was created just over 20 years ago to try to help the development of Qatar's own athletes and to be an educational institution too. It's played a very important role in the development of their national football team. We did have... So, Sasha Kiselev done. Here we go. Representing Croatia, Tiana Corin of Croatia. A matter of 9 days away from her 36th birthday. Winner of World Cup medals going right the way back to over a decade ago. And she starts with a handspring front pike half. Now, interestingly, in qualification, Tiana Corin had a 3.8 difficulty vault. So she will be up here because handspring front pike half is a 4.0 difficulty vault. Gymnast whose strongest performances seem to still be within her grasp. She's really hit form in her 30s. Hugely diligent, hugely hard-working, an athlete with a great social conscience as well. 2010, that first World Cup title, won in Ostrava. So we don't have, although we do have the first score. It's 12.8, so that represents the improvement to her difficulty. And she employs a full twisting Yurchenko as vault number 2, and that was a 13 scoring qualification. So she may have helped herself creep up into contention for a medal there.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our first gymnast representing Croatia, a 36-year-old gymnast who first participated to Doha Artistic Gymnastics World Cup, and that's Tiana
well performed full twisting Yurchenko vault. Now the execution was 13 in the preliminary round. It'll be interesting to compare it here. She's made 2 European Championship vault finals. 13 again. And that leads to a 13.1. So she's up by just over a tenth from qualification. The reason there is that she also has picked up that 0.2 bonus, which I'll come back to in a moment, that she had in qualification, as did this next gymnast. This is Sara Petter of Hungary. 4th best in qualifying with 12.866. A medalist at the European Games on vault, Sara Petter. Also the reigning Hungarian Masters champion. Well, that was nice. Another full twisting Yurchenko. We're expecting to see from her the same vaults as we just witnessed from Tiana Corin, but done in the opposite combination. That according to what she has indicated to the judges beforehand. And as I'm sure many of you know, I'm sure most of you know, that you can do whatever vault you like. Doesn't matter what you actually indicate on the board, doesn't matter what you submit. But it is the only apparatus where the gymnasts do provide some sense to the judges of what to expect. But as long as they perform a legal vault, they will be assessed on their performance of that legal vault. And as long as the feet actually are the first thing to make contact, even if they don't then remain in an upright position. Now that is better than qualification, 13.1. Vault number 2. We anticipate a handspring front pike half. That is what we get, with quite a big landing adjustment from Sara Petter, the 22-year-old from Budapest. She has been a World Cup medalist on vault, going back in the day to Paris in 2019, that same year when she was on the European Games podium. I must apologise, by the way, I muddled her qualification position around with Tiana Corin. Corin was the 4th best in qualifying, Petter the 5th best. And with a 13.166, it's a 12.966 for the second vault. Sara Petter has just about gone ahead of Tiana Corin, but it's very tight. They both have that same 0.2 bonus for... Well, we'll come back to that because we almost missed that first vault there from Medina Kabbasova, and we certainly don't want to miss that because it's her senior international debut. Chance to enjoy it again. Here is Medina Kabbasova of Kazakhstan, the 15-year-old.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first vault of
Good toe point and a decent landing in her full twisting Yurchenko.
Kazakhstan.
This is a gymnast who competed at the Asian Junior Championships in 2023. Big occasion for her, this. Didn't she start nicely?
First vault for Medina Kabbasova of Kazakhstan at 12.766.
12.766 is the score for the full twisting Yurchenko. Second vault. And she uses the laid out Tsukahara as her second vault. Very nice to see this performance from a young competitor, new to the senior international stage. Really well done. What a great experience.
Gymnast who happens to be first participating in the Doha Artistic Gymnastics World Cup, and that is Medina Kabbasova.
A lot to like about the way she performs. Execution will get tidied up as she continues throughout her career. But all you really want at this stage, when you've got a gymnast who comes through new to the senior circuit in a first World Cup final, is they get through the 2 vaults securely. She did that. A little more toe point can be applied, more precise contact with the vaulting table. All of that is there to be analysed and developed, but very good start. Well done to her. Absolutely, take it in, enjoy the moment. There'll be many more of them, doubtless. So 12.366 for a 12.566 average. Her difficulty lower than those that we've seen so far.
Representing Slovenia,
The 31-year-old from the capital city of Slovenia, Ljubljana, Sasha Kiselev. And she performs the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault, so that is the most complicated vault we've seen so far. There was certainly a loss of form early on in her delivery of it, but it will carry an additional 4/10. Takes a moment just to steady the legs and bring them together as she embarks upon the vault there. But what was the 6th best in qualification? This opening vault scored a 13.333.
announcing the score of the
13.233, so it is very similar to qualification. And it is the single best scoring vault that we've had so far. Top 5 at the European Championships a few years ago. She's close to her 30th World Cup podium appearance. And that was well performed from Sasha Kiselev. Now, she had a 12.166 score for the second vault in qualification.
Representing Slovenia, and she happens to experience to be part of Baku 2025.
We're certainly going to see a transformation there.
Receiving a rank of third on vault.
Again, some issues with the form in the air, but that was the handspring front tuck full twist. And that vault carries a 4.2 degree of difficulty. In qualification, she was only credited with 3.6. It is her standard second vault, but it's gone a lot better than the qualification phase. Yes, that's a transformation, 12.8. So with 13.216, she goes into the gold medal position. That is the 6th best qualifier. Proud of that, and rightly so. It's a great accomplishment to come to a big World Cup event and to produce your best ever international scores on not just one piece, but every single one of them. Tells you a lot about her, doesn't it? And we'll tell you a lot about her in due course. The great Oksana Chusovitina, one of those about whom it would be insulting not to say the great. Good luck to Madeline Marshall of New Zealand. This is her first World Cup final ever. She has been a medalist at the New Zealand Championships. She missed the last Oceania Championships, having picked up a very unfortunate injury just before it. So it's wonderful that she has rebounded here. This 18-year-old gymnast who was born in Tooting in the south of London in the United Kingdom. She's trained both in New Zealand and at Tolworth Gymnastics Club in Surbiton. Vault number 1 for Madeline Marshall. Very nice, well done. Full twisting Yuchenko to start. That will steady the nerves, one imagines. That's got to feel good, hasn't it? Getting through the opening vault. Now she's there, now she's made it through the opening vault in a first World Cup final. Reminded herself that she's done it a million times before and can do it a million times again. It's just the context is slightly different when it's a big international final. 13.033, well done, Madeline Marshall. Now let's see what we get from vault number 2. This was a 12 in qualification. The indication is for a layout Tsukahara. That's what's on the board. And there we go. Madeline Marshall from New Zealand, who finished her A-levels last year. She commented that she was thrilled to destroy the evidence of A-level physics, but she did get through it all. Absolutely, absolutely. I bet there are lots of you out there who know that feeling. She just collapsed into the chair. Whether you've done that as a gymnast before at the end of a competition that's gone well, or whether you've just done that in life after a hard day's work, after something you were worried about, we just saw it. The universality of human relief expressed by Madeline Marshall. And what's promising for her there is that she will actually have improved upon her qualification score by quite some way, because she only got a 3.4 difficulty in the preliminary round. This will be a 3.8. There we go, 12.4, and you could see the reaction from the coach there. Yes, you got it, you got the difficulty score. Really well done, Madeline Marshall. She's in 4th position. Now this is Greta Moya of Hungary. Second best in qualification. Greta Moya of Hungary, certainly somebody that we expect to be in contention. She won the gold medal on vault at the Hungarian Masters Championships. So she uses a full twisting Yurchenko vault. Just as she did in qualification. Picked up a 13.1 score for it. She's had so much vaulting success domestically, but she's also the all-around Masters champion from Hungary. We mustn't forget that about her. We're so used to seeing her really contend in these vault finals at World Cup and World Challenge Cup level, but she was a medalist on beam in Baku. 13.033, it's virtually the same as qualifying, a drop of a matter of hundredths. Now we've seen a few layout Tsukahara vaults so far. We anticipate this will have the full twist added to it. So that is how Greta Moya gains a little more difficulty than some of the gymnasts that we've watched thus far. And there's no doubt that this is going to be a contending number. We'll just wait and see how tight it is with 2 more still to come. And we've got the 3rd and top qualifiers to come. So 4 additional tenths of difficulty given for that twist of the body. We've seen some gymnasts perform it without the twist. In fact, it's more than 4 additional tenths. My mathematics are not quite correct. It's 6 additional tenths. .3 for Greta Moya. She's into the silver medal position with 13.166. Now we move to Teja Belak of Slovenia. 3rd best in qualifying. Indicating a handspring stretch salto with full twist. That's a 5.0. She was given a 3.8 for difficulty in the qualification phase. Did have a bit of a jarred feeling to that landing. Teja Belak didn't land fully in the final in Osijek, if my memory serves me correctly. well to actually keep that in an upright position because it was a slightly jarred feeling to it. Not the truest of connections on the table, perhaps. Did well to keep that upright, having found it problematic in Osijek. 12.266 was the qualification score. It's 12.933, so that is an improvement of 7/10 or thereabouts. Just a few hundredths down from 7/10. Interesting to see whether that might have been piked. A few talking points to come from this final, because we've got a really interesting conclusion. And there's the 1.5 twisting Yurchenko from Belak.
And ladies and gentlemen, representing in the crowd from Slovenia is a 31-year-old gymnast who happens to be born on Cockbus 2025 World Cup and received the first rank on board.
So the experienced Taya Belak, who is 4 days away from the 31st birthday. That a much more secure landing. .033 in the qualification phase. No surprise that she has gone into the lead. 13.316, 13.3 for that second vault. So we've got a new leader in the form of Belak, as we expected with the sort of complexity she was posting. It's Belak, then it is in second place Chasha Kiselev. Now we go to Oksana Chusovitina. Top performer in qualification with a score of 13.116. Two months tomorrow, she turns 50. 17 times she's competed at the World Championships, 8 times at the Olympic Games, and she was very low in that landing. Oksana Chusovitina, who continues to feature on World Cup podia. Bronze in Cottbus at the start of the season, gold in Baku. It's very, very close to being a complete sit down of that vault. And she just springs back up with all of that experience. One and a half twisting Tsukahara vault. So that half twist further around than we've seen from a lot of gymnasts, giving it the additional 4/10. And her score is 12.833. She had a 13.333 in the preliminary round. Handspring front pike half is what's being indicated on the board. Indeed so, and very tidy looking that was too from Oksana Chusovitna. And that brings to a close the women's vault final. Well, we are unlikely to see any change to the leaderboard with 13.166 plus required to get onto the podium. But isn't it just a pleasure, such a pleasure to see veteran vaulters like Chusovitna. We started with Tiana Corinth, who is herself a veteran at the age of 35, albeit close to 15 years younger than Chuso. Good to see that Oksana Chusovitna is enjoying her current retirement, which lasted as long as all the other previous ones have lasted. And good thing too, because it is wonderful to watch her perform. It's an honour, actually, to watch her perform. Truly is. Somebody who won her first Olympic honours with the team, taking gold in Barcelona in 1992. Silver medalist on vault, representing Germany in 2008. She was the vault world champion in 2003 for Uzbekistan. 12.999 is the average score, 12.766 for the second vault, so no change to the top three. And that brings to a close this women's vault final. The classified results in the women's vault competition: the bronze medal is won by Greta Moya of Hungary, silver to Chasa Kiselev of Slovenia, and the gold medal to another Slovenian